my childhood struggles didn't stop with the story I shared in my first video. In fact, 2 years later, life became even harder. My dad lost his job again because their project ended, and since he only relied on recommendations, he was jobless for months. That's when my mom stepped in. She decided to work as a caregiver in the place where my sister lived. It was recommendation through a friend of my sister's husband. The day my mom told me she had to leave the work so we could eat and continue going to school broke my heart. She said to me, "I have to do this because we have nothing. We're starving. Please take care of your sisters." I cried so much that day. I was only 12 years old, a child myself, yet I had to take care of my younger sisters. I had 2 older brothers, but they didn't take care of us. I was the one cooking for everyone. I didn't understand why it had to be me. Most days I cried silently. I was just a kid, yet I had the responsibility of making sure we had food. Every Sunday, my sister and I walked 4 kilometers to the town to buy goods. It was tiring, but we had no choice. Sometimes my dad came home for 2 days, and that made us so happy because he always brought bread and soft drinks, things we rarely had. But then he'd leave again, reminding me, "Take care of the money, take care of your sisters." I always said, "Okay," pretending I was strong, but inside, I was holding back tears. I hid my crying from my sisters because I didn't want them to cry too. One day, finally, my dad found another job. He sent my mom home because her work paid so little and she didn't even eat well. My mom worked for almost 9 months, and during all that time, I handled the finances at just 12 years old. I'm proud of myself, but I also question life. Why did this have to happen to us? Why did my parents have to leave just so we could survive? Why was life so hard? Now I'm 29 years old. Because of financial struggles, I only finished secondary school. I wanted to pursue college, but in 2015, I chose to work in a cafe, earning just 2,000 pesos a month. Today, it's so difficult to find a stable job. Honestly, I regret not being able to focus on education, but poverty left me with no choice. To all young people out there, if you have the chance to study, please do. Pay attention to your education. It is one of the most important things in life.
When I look back at my life, I realize something important. Poverty can take away a lot of things, but education is the one thing that can open doors for you. If I had been able to continue my studies, maybe finding a job today wouldn't be so difficult. Education gives you skills, knowledge, and confidence, things that nobody can ever take away from you. Even if life gets hard, even if money becomes a problem, your education will always stay with you. When you're young, it's easy to think that studying is boring or that school doesn't matter. I used to think that way too sometimes, but believe me, once you enter the real world, you will see how important it is. Without education, opportunities are limited. With education, your options become bigger. You can choose better jobs, create better income, and most importantly, give your family a better life. I know some of you might also be struggling. Maybe your parents can't give you everything. Maybe you too feel like giving up on school. But I want you to remember my story. I had to stop studying not because I wanted to, but because I had no choice. If you still have the choice, don't waste it. Value your teachers, value your books, value every lesson you learn, because one day, those lessons will protect you from hunger, from struggles, and from the pain of not having enough. And if you ever feel tired of studying, think of the people who wish they had your chance but never did. Think of kids who had to work instead of going to school. Think of parents who sacrifice so much just so you can sit in a classroom. Education is not just about passing exams. It's about preparing for life. It's about giving yourself the chance to dream bigger and to achieve more than what your situation looks like today. So please, to all young people listening right now, study hard, stay focused, respect your education, because one day it will be the strongest weapon you have against poverty.